heart. For example, if you don't show love to someone or just show basic kindness, but somehow in your heart you are showing basic kindness, but it doesn't reflect in your actions. That is what this particular misconception is about. So how does this actually make sense? Okay, let's talk about kindness and standing in the gap. The fact is, this concept does not actually make sense. Even the Bible tells us to love, not just in word, but in deed and in truth. So not just in word, but in action. So yes, let's talk about kindness and standing in the gap. So how do I say I'm helping my neighbor or being there for a friend emotionally, or even being kind to my sister if I do not show it? How would they know? Can they read hearts? Let's use church now, for example, or even my sister. Church is far. My friend comes to tell me that she's going through something and needs me to pray with her. And I casually just say, oh, it's well, and leave. How have I taken action? How have I really been there for her when I cannot even spare a minute or two to heartily pray with her? If I see someone close to me going through financial issues and I keep saying it is well and quote, God shall supply all my needs, when I have the capacity to give the person even a little bit, how have I really been there for the person? How do we reconcile the actions versus what's really in the heart in this scenario, in this case? Simply put, this misconception is an excuse to do whatsoever, because tell me why I overreact to something or get angry at someone and say, oh yeah, everybody gets angry. When I'm angry, I say what I don't mean, so the person should know that I was angry. People usually say hurtful things when they're angry, and that's the excuse. So yes, we are all work in progress. As Christians, we have our weaknesses that we are looking unto God for help and grace. But using that as an excuse to do anything and everything and not taking responsibility for our actions and then putting it under the guise of, nobody is perfect, I'm human. And having that as a constant punchline instead of taking responsibility and learning, that is not acceptable. Because even the Bible tells us that by their fruits we shall know them. So how do we show fruits? And somehow it's in our hearts. Like, how do we show these fruits if we cannot actually show it? You understand what I'm saying? So I used to just blurt out things at some point in my life without thinking, and for so long I would say hurtful things to people or talk unnecessarily, react rather than responding, always being defensive unnecessarily, because I did not want to take corrections, and I took it to prayer. I was like, God, I beg, season